Following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Good Monday morning, everybody. We're off and running on this great edition of Mornings on Main Street. Look at track for you right there. That is on I-40 coming in from the airport. And just to the top left over there is a place that I'll never get to go. That's Mercedes-Benz in Music City. Unless I hit the Powerball or Mega Millions, you can get $400 million this week. So anyway, welcome in as we get you started off and running on this beautiful, there I am, on this Monday, January the 24th, 2022. Hey, listen, we are now 80% through the worst month of the year, okay? 80% through. We're going to be done with this in a week. On to February, we're going to start smiling again and feeling good. And my heart is with all you Tennessee Titans fans this weekend. Let's bring in the intern who was at the game on Saturday. Are you feeling better, my friend?
No. I'm
Nice
not.
Reaction on that.
Crushed. I'm super crushed. It was very hard fought. Our defense did everything it could.
Hold on. It's not your defense.
Those 11 guys on the field.
Are you kidding?
No, they gave me a jersey, and they were like, here, be part of the team, kid.
Were you screaming when the field goal went?
Yeah, Bengals. So the Bengals.
At the Bengals kicker?
I was in the section where he was kicking it in my face. So, yeah. We were screaming.
I'm sorry, man. Were you devastated? What did you after the game? Did you linger around the stadium? What did you do?
Everybody had that same zombie walk face that just like crossed the bridge, looking back at Nissan. Like,
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good, man. Hey, I still believe in him. My dad bought me this jersey.
Did you get your money back?
No, that's what I'm saying. Right before kickoff, he got me this Tannehill jersey, and then afterwards, it was like, like when LeBron James left Cleveland, all this stuff was on the clearance rack.
Well, I'm going to make you feel better right here. We're going to show you something from yesterday. This is from ESPN. This is last night's Bills and Chiefs game. If you missed this game last night, it's quite possibly the greatest football game I've ever seen in my life. This is the last minute and a half of the game, and the score will tell you what's going on there. We're going to play it for you. Here we go.
Fires a strike right into the end zone, right open, touchdown! Gabriel Davis, touchdown, Buffalo.
Rewind to the right, one wide to the left. Mahomes over the middle.
Cut Tyreek Hill at the 45. Angling right 40, 35, Gina, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Kansas City!
Late.
A 64-yard touchdown.
I can't believe they kicked him. Did you see that punt? I did see the punt where they double punted to him.
Fires to the end zone. Are you kidding me? Unbelievable.
13
The
seconds
Bills
left.
get the
Mahomes
lead
comes
back
down
again.
to kick a field goal. Tie it
Placement
up.
down. The snap was a little low, but Butker gets
In
the
overtime, the Chiefs get the ball
Ties the game.
first.
Ties the game. We're going to overtime. A 49-yard field goal by Butker.
It's first down and goal to go.
And here's the game.
Mahomes looks to throw it. Pump faking. Right side he wants it. A comeback cut.
It is caught by Kelsey.
That throw looked like
Touchdown!
he meant nothing to throw it.
Kansas City, one of the greatest duos in the history of the National Football League. Patrick
Yeah, there you go.
Mahomes.
That's what happened last night. So if you missed that game when you went to bed last night, I'm sorry because it was the greatest football game I've ever seen. Intern, you didn't watch the game, did you?
No, so after the Titans game, I was pretty footballed out. I didn't want to see it.
I'm sorry. We got plenty to get to. Luke Worsham from A to Z Sports will join us in a little bit. My voice is hoarse from screaming.
Right.
I didn't go to the game, just a bunch of friends screaming at the game. So I apologize for that right there. And here's the front page of today's Main Street Nashville on the E-Edition. Ryan Tannehill.
Me too, man. Me
He
too.
wants to win so bad and just didn't have it on Saturday. Sorry, intern.
His all the stereotypes were proven.
Okay, well, here's some news for you. Let's get to a little news. We'll talk going on. TDOT launches plan for pothole repair. We have some massive craters on the interstate around Nashville right now if you drive around. So TDOT will be out as the weather allows. Multiple crews will patch potholes over the coming days and weeks. And you'll see it. They are really bad on I-40. So be careful when you're out and about making your way through town because those potholes are damaging. I hit one the other day on 40, and it was awful. It was coming into town from Hermitage, that side. It was bad, bad, bad. So please be careful. Got a lot to talk about with traffic this morning. Metro secures grant for new traffic center. A grant to pay for new traffic management similar to federal dollars. It'll play a key role in improving traffic safety and reducing congestion. Look, if it can get rid of the red light in front of the YMCA in Donaldson, which is the worst red light in Nashville, if some of this money could go against knocking that pole down and getting rid of it, I'll work for free to help get rid of it.
What do they do? What do different stoplights? Some of them have triggers, and then some of them are timed. Is that
This
what it
one has
is?
a Joe trigger because what it does, it triggers when I come by, and I'm not kidding. It triggers me. I get so mad.
It's like, hey, yellow light, Joe's coming.
Well, I'll run yellow lights. I don't care. I'll run.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, hurry up.
But this red light in front of the Donaldson YMCA is the worst. If you're listening and watching this morning, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the worst red light around. So maybe we can get rid of that. Let's cruise on down here a little bit and show you the national banner from 55 years ago today. More traffic news for you. This is great. To the left here, Governor Buford Ellington directed the State Highway Department to proceed with surveys for the construction of $35 million section of I-24 from Nashville to the Kentucky line, which goes up through Clarksville. $35 million. You know what that would cost today to build an interstate from Nashville to Clarksville? It probably cost $1 billion to get up there. That's amazing. So you see what happens right there. 55 years ago in the national banner, the key events that happened there. I love reading this every single day. Well, the weekdays that we get Main Street Media just to see what's happening, what's going on in our city so long ago. There's one more story. I'm going to scroll down here and see if there's one at the bottom here. Where was it? Oh, yeah, it's awful. Just a daily update of young men from Nashville, Middle Tennessee, who were killed in Vietnam. I was just, oh, man, that's tough to sit there and read that. And again, that's 55 years ago in the Nashville banner, which happened. All right, I love this too. You going down a little business news for you. And to see that my alma mater here, intern, look at this, MTSU creates $1.42 billion economic impact. You know that?
No, I didn't know that. That B on the end, that's a
That
big
B on
huge.
the end there. So yeah, it's a good job. You're welcome, MTSU.
You contributed to that.
I don't know what way they acknowledge me when I need to give money, which is good. A lot of good. Of course, there's the thing dethroned with the Titans. We'll get to that about 7:20. Again, Main Street Preps. Look at our guys and girls that put this together. So much content each and every day on the Main Street paper. So well done. Everything you need to know right there. National Predators are back on the ice. Is it tonight or tomorrow night? They're playing Seattle. They take on the Seattle Kraken, as you can see right there. Nashville at Seattle. And it's weird because I've never seen that before. You know, Nashville at Seattle. Of course, Seattle's not very good. They're in the bottom of the Pacific, and the Predators are in second place in the Central.
You know that, all right, verbal meme when the Simpsons guy like slowly goes into the bush and reemerges.
Oh, Homer, yeah.
I just threw on my Predators jersey.
Be proud, man.
I am. I'm proud
of that. Don't be upset at that. I mean, you guys had a nice little season there that went on.
You said we. Thank you.
You got me. Oh, my goodness. All right, check your horoscope today. Taurus, that is the intern's horoscope today. Let's see what he's got going on. A pointed opinion will help you stay on track and ensure no one gets the wrong impression. Okay. Consider what's possible and stay on track until you reach your destination. We all know you can't drive. So link your success to what you achieve, not into your promises.
Okay.
So you've done a great job putting this show together today. You achieved that.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. But I do need to work on the drive.
Again, 11 o'clock today. How's our girl doing? Devin O'Day.
She's doing
today coming your way 11 o'clock.
Better and better each day. Okay. Still hasn't gotten the test back negative or positive as far as COVID going. So we're still waiting on that, but she's getting better by the day.
Well, let's hope it's negative, and then she is back with us, and everything is good to go. Again, Main Street today with Devin O'Day coming your way, 11 o'clock. Great show for you, as always. All right, it's time to get to our comic strip tease today before our boss logs on and sees what we're not doing. Which one we're going to do? We're going to do, Zitz, this awful cartoon. And in the voice of the guy on the left will be me as Hannibal Lecter, and intern, you are?
I'm going to be seeing Johnny Travolta.
Okay. John Travolta. And I can already tell that's an awful impression. But let's do it again.
So here we go.
Ready? Here we go. Zitz. And I'm the guy on the left, Hannibal Lecter. 3, 2. Valentine's Day is coming up, right?
Right.
If I want to get something special for Sarah, I should probably plan ahead.
Okay. Let me ask you something, Sandy. Who are you and what have you done with my clueless son?
Well done. Oh, it's the worst thing ever. Well done on your Monday to get you off and going the comic strip tease. All right, let's take a break. We got a fun show coming your way. Jaaaaaason Gooolesby at 7:40. Luke Worsham from A to Z Sports at 7:20 to wrap up the Titan season. But up next, we'll go to Cincinnati. One of my favorite people used to work as an anchor here and reporter in Nashville. Now she's in Cincinnati, and I'm doing this so the intern realized how deep of a loss it is and what Cincinnati is celebrating this whole week as they get ready to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Kelly Rippin will join us next. You're watching Mornings on Main Street.
And they've got an e-reader, which is just, for people like me, I have grown up with a newspaper holding it in my hand. I really like that experience. But the e-reader or the press reader that Main Street has, you get to see a front page. You get to see the business stocks. You get to see all of that. But if you see a photo and it's got a little icon on the bottom, when you see that icon, that means there's a gallery there.
I love writing and journalism just on its own, and I think I learned that during the pandemic because I was covering all kinds of non-sports related things and still having fun with it, still finding out a lot of great stories. But when you can combine something I'm already interested in, have a lot of knowledge about in sports, I feel like I'm really able to combine two of my passions at the same time, and that's really rewarding for me.
Welcome back here to Mornings on Main Street. We'll look at Ellington Park. A little back up there today. We'll get back to work on this Monday. Let's do a little Street as we're getting you off to a good start on this Monday on January the 24th, 2022. All right, big win this weekend for the Cincinnati Bengals over the Tennessee Titans. Cincinnati's going crazy, so why don't we go to Cincinnati and find out what's exactly going on there with a good friend of mine, Kelly Rippin from WLWT morning show there. She's on maternity leave, so I really appreciate you doing this, Kelly. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's so good to see you. First of all,
I love
how
seeing
are
your
you?
face.
How's baby and how's dad?
Everyone is good. Baby is currently watching shapes bounce around the TV. 2 months old, might as well start that off early, watching screens. But he's good. Dad is good. They just got over COVID. I've been okay the whole time, so very grateful for that. Maternity leave's been a little wild. I've never had this much time to sleep in. Not that I'm sleeping at all, but it's been fun. It's been great. I'm still looking forward to going back to work though, so I'm excited about that. But I'm good. I miss everybody down there. If we hadn't been dealing with COVID, we actually would have been in Tennessee, but in Knoxville, not in Nashville. So I am forever tied to the state of Tennessee, which I'm very happy about.
Well, I'm sure. When do you go back to work?
2 weeks, right before the Super Bowl. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, all right. So let me get your thoughts about, I mean, you've been in Cincinnati for a while now. To see what's going on from a football team that, Kelly, the last 2 years was awful. To see them stand one win away from the Super Bowl, how's the city taking this?
I mean, it goes way beyond the last 2 years. So I worked in Cincinnati before actually I came down to Nashville to Fox 17, and then had to move on from Fox 17 and ended up back in Cincinnati. And it's a great town. It's a very cool city. It's another river city. These fans, though, are losing their minds, and rightfully so. I mean, this team has been here since the 60s. They haven't won a playoff game in 33 years?
Yes.
No. Is it 33 years? I say it's close to that. And I was actually at the last game when they played the Steelers, and they were it was 2015, I think, and the heartbreak, like you could just feel it through the entire city. I don't know if anybody's going to be working today because for the next 5 days, these people, I mean, they're planning their trip to Kansas City. They are traveling in droves. They are just unable to focus. And you get it. I mean, this is one of those towns that like they live and die by their professional sports teams because they've been here for so long. They were family traditions for decades and decades, and they have been, especially the Bengals. These fans have been disappointed time after time after time for so many different reasons, whether it's a player that really just kind of like is not nice to the team or doesn't seem to get along with the team, to ownership, to not being able to watch their own games on TV on occasion. So, yeah, this city is going insane, and you completely understand it when you think about all I've been through.
Oh, and also, I might have seen you tweet this out this weekend. That might have been you, but the tradition now that your football coach with the Bengals is going to these bars after
Yeah.
the game and handing out game balls. He started something that's not going to stop, Kelly.
No, and it's so because it really is these local businesses that have continued to say, "Hey, we're airing the games." And honestly, for a long time, there was a whole thing where they were trying to get more people to get to the game. So for a long time, they were not necessarily blacking out the games here, but they were trying to drive people into the stadium. But the people were ticked; they weren't getting any kind of product that was putting on winning football, and they were getting frustrated. So they were essentially just having to go to bars or whatever, but these bars have really driven the excitement, especially this year and then during the off season. Obviously, Joe Burrow was hurt last year, which really stunk because he has brought a fire to this city that is unbelievable, and he seems like a genuinely good kid. So I think that's the other reason people are like, "Oh my gosh, we can get behind this kid and support him." And he is, I mean. How many times was he sacked on Saturday? And they still won the game. It was insane. And if you think about what he could do if they could get an offensive line, it could be very dangerous, which, as someone who also roots for another team in that division is a little terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Did you think in your wildest dreams back in August that your station and everybody around you would be planning for a possible Super Bowl trip to Los Angeles in February?
No, and here's the thing, they say it every year. They get really excited, and that does tend to happen for the Bengals. They do really well in the early part of the season, and then the term here is they bungle it. It falls off, and it happens so often, and it's so frustrating for the fans here. And so, I mean, I think a lot of people are going to say, I told you so. I tweeted it. I put it out there. Well, yeah, you've done that for the last 33 years. So you put it out there in the world every year. One of these years, you're going to be right. But no, I don't think anybody expected it, especially when they did draft Jamar Chase instead of more offensive linemen. I think a lot of people were going, we can't afford to have Burrow hurt again. But that's been an unbelievable union, which they already knew that because of LSU. But yeah, it's definitely not, I don't think, anything people expected, but they are going to ride that train as long as they can. I have a feeling we're going to see a ton of Bengals fans in Kansas City this weekend.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of Joe Burrow, around Cincinnati, I got to think, Kelly, he's Mick Jagger. I mean, he is the rock star.
Joe Cool. I mean, he is on every T-shirt. He wore those pink sunglasses. I think I saw hundreds of people wearing them this weekend. It was ridiculous. Like, he can do no wrong, which is a lot of pressure, but he seems to be handling it very well. He doesn't really, you don't hear about him going out. You don't hear about him doing, stupid stuff. You don't hear about him making headlines or anything like that. I think he just kind of buckles down, hangs out. He said, like, he is a leader. He's going to get this team where they need to go. And, I think it seems that he's handling it very well, and the team is looking at him, which is awesome. They are a young team too, which is, again, dangerous if you are watching around the division.
Isn't it just crazy how winning football games and a winning football team unites a city? I mean, we're all so divided in this world, but I got to think right now, Bengals fans, either side of the political aisle, are all one right now, and it's a beautiful thing.
It is. And honestly, I think everyone obviously would love to have this opportunity, but I think the city really needed it right now. I adore and love Nashville. That was a hard game for me to watch because I'm like, oh man, like, who do I cheer for in this? Like, I love Cincinnati. I love Tennessee. It'd be really great to see the Titans do well as well again. But, selfishly, I want to keep covering the Bengals in the Super Bowl. Because again, I'll go right back just before the Super Bowl. But, Nashville, you have so many people from so many different places. Cincinnati, these people have been born here, raised here, left for school. A lot of people come back. It's a weird town that people just keep coming back to because it's a great city. So yeah, I think it's fun to see everybody get hyped about this, and now to have it really pay off. I think a lot of people heard the hype and they were kind of like, all right, like, we'll see what happens. But now it's happening, and it's all over the city.
What's the last question? I'll let you go. And I really appreciate you doing this, Kelly. What's the tavern that Boomer Esiason keeps talking about?
Oh, Mount Lookout Tavern. It is over in Mount Lookout is the name of the neighborhood. But they got a game ball. I think I'm not sure if they got a game ball or if he was just suggesting that they get a game ball. But yeah, it's a great tiny little spot in a small neighborhood. But these small neighborhoods are getting featured. It's not just like the big bar that's right across from the stadium, which the Holy Grail has done huge things to support the Bengals. So they absolutely got the recognition they deserve by getting a game ball. But they're heading into some of these neighborhood bars and handing out game balls, and people are stunned whenever these team members or team leadership show up with a ball, and it's very cool to see. It's very cool to see.
I'm immensely jealous of you because I've been on this ride before the Titans many years ago.
Yeah,
and it's fantastic. And I hope you guys go all the way to the Super Bowl because the journey is incredible. So, Kelly, thank you.
Fun.
We missed you in Nashville. Hope you'll come back one day. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, absolutely. I'm hopefully back to see you soon. I was looking for your autograph, Joe. I had it somewhere at my desk. I just can't find your Big Joe autograph. So
well, you'll
I'll
be
find
getting
it. I'll find it for the next time.
Thank you, Kelly. You'll be getting 2 next time.
Yes.
Hey, thank you. You guys are beautiful. Thank you, and much luck and success to the baby and everything else. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Kelly Rippin, anchor from WLWT and WLWT in Cincinnati. Enjoying the ride. Enjoy this ride because it's amazing. Let's flip the side over. We'll come back. Luke Worsham from A to Z Sports, who covers the Titans and has opinions, which is great in this day and age. He's not just another Titans fanboy media member. He's got opinions, and that's why we want him on the show. And Luke joins us next. You're watching Mornings on Main Street.
year, it costs Tennessee more than $15 million to clean up roadside litter. It's time to keep your trash to yourself and our roadways clear, because nobody trashes Tennessee.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good. I thought it was good.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal. It was no big deal.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. I thought I could hold my liquor.
Is your roof in need of repairs? Maybe it's time for a full roof replacement. If so, choose Middle Tennessee's #1 rated roofer. Tim Leeper Roofing has provided the Nashville area with outstanding residential and commercial services for nearly 2 decades. And with hundreds of 5-star reviews, Tim Leeper Roofing has satisfied thousands of homeowners. To schedule a free and honest estimate, find us online at timleeperroofing.com.
Main Street. There we go. That's a Nashville I know right there. I-65 coming in from I-24 on the north side, backed up. We've told you this. When they build I-65 and I-24 on Mars, and there's only 4 people, back up. It's going to happen. You can guarantee that. All right, welcome back to the show. Let's talk Titans now. Let's bring in Luke Worsham from A to Z Sports this morning. Luke, my man, a lot of blame to go around from Saturday. Who do we start with?
That's a good question. The top 2 is Tannehill and the offensive coordinator, Todd Downing. And I think a lot of people are wanting to make it a sort of false dichotomy. It has to almost be either the quarterback or the offensive coordinator. But what really happened throughout the game offensively, because we know the Titans defense did their job, right? 9 sacks. Only one team has ever done that before in a playoff game. There were times where the play call was bad, and then Tannehill did a bad job with the bad play call. And both of those things are possible. Like, Todd Downing is the one who called that awful screen to Chester Rogers on the goal line, but, like, Todd Downing didn't stare down Julio Jones on the first play of the game and throw it to Jesse Bates. Like, that, there are problems both ways with this.
Well, here's my thing. First play of the game, you've had at least 10 days to work on that first play.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you did. And after I saw that play, I'm thinking that's not good. And I know that sounds simple, but it sounds so just huge, because that kind of set a tone like, oh my God, here we go again.
Well, that's something that Todd Downing was bad at all season. The Titans only scored, if you count the drive from Saturday's game, right? They had 18 opening drives this season because they played 18 games. They scored on 3 of those. 3 out of 18. They scored touchdowns on 2 of them. Opening drives were a problem all year for the Titans. It's been over a month since they scored on either of their first 2 opening drives. And in 3 of their last 4 games, they didn't score until the second quarter.
I know hindsight's everything. Did they handle the Derrick Henry hype correctly? Because I just think if, bring him out there, but let Foreman keep doing his thing. To me, I would have done that. But again, I'm the best armchair quarterback ever. What do you say about that?
I mean, I think to an extent they did let Foreman keep doing his thing. It was sort of a 1-2 punch with the 2 of them. There were drives that clearly were, quote, Deontay Foreman drives, especially the one where he had that 45-yard run that set up the bad Chester Rogers screen that I mentioned a second ago. And they gave Derrick his opportunities as well. And he didn't break one. And I don't think that had anything to do with his foot. I just don't know that it was necessarily there. But that there were several times where, you sort of lean forward and you're like, oh, there goes that big Derrick Henry play. And then, a Cincinnati defender would come and make the tackle and make the play. So I think they handled that as well as they probably could have.
When this team moves forward to 2022, what do you think Luke's going to be different about this football team?
Well, it's not going to be the quarterback, to the chagrin of many fans. Tannehill's locked in. One, because this draft is not good at quarterback, and I don't know who else you're going to find. I don't know that a whole lot is going to be different. And that's why I think it's going to be a weird offseason, because last offseason we spent the whole, from February to June, it's how are they going to get more sacks? How are they going to get a wide receiver too, right? There were clear needs. And they have needs, they could use a tight end. Certainly they could probably use a receiver, maybe someone in the secondary. But there's not any sort of full scale turnover that's going to happen. It's not like last year where the defense was historically bad and we sat there going, how are they going to get these guys unconfused? How are they going to fix things? There's really nothing definable that needs to be quote unquote fixed. It's just, this is kind of who they have. And I think that's part of why Saturday's game was so disappointing, is because this is their core for now and a while. They're still going to have AJ Brown and Julio Jones. They're going to re-sign Harold Landry. They're going to have this defensive line again. They're going to have Tannehill. They're going to have Derrick Henry. It's this core. And on Saturday, this core wasn't good enough. And so the question, I think this is going to be probably less of a John Robinson offseason and more of a Mike Vrabel offseason.
Do you think they bring back Julio? Because I think it was a disaster. He had a disaster year, and any kind of way they try to spin that was far short of what we expected from him.
I don't think they really have a choice, because either way they owe him about $13 million next season. So you might as well have him play for you if you're going to pay him that.
Oh, that's brutal. Taylor Lewan.
Mm-hmm.
Is he coming back?
He said he was. He got asked after the game, and he said, he said, no doubt I'll be back next season. And he's under contract. So if he's not back, the connection that a lot of people are making is, I think they would free up something like $12, $13 million of the cap if they cut him. Now, if you had asked me week 4, week 5, I would have said, yeah, that's probably a good choice. But he kind of cleaned things up in the second half of the season. He didn't allow a sack after his terrible week 1 performance. He went 17 straight games without allowing a sack, and the availability issues that plagued him in the first half of the season went away in the second half of the season. And that being said, if you're convinced that, Lewan just had a hard time coming back from the ACL and he finally settled in, and there's, 8-9 games of sample size of that, right? And you think that's who he is. I don't really know how you move on from him if you think you have a good left tackle, even if it's 12, 13 million.
So the future, according to you, is not bad coming up, even though the huge disappointment on Saturday, losing that game, which they probably should have won. But the future is still a little bright, though, if you're a Titans fan, you're saying?
Yeah, because I don't think they're losing anybody significant. I'm trying to think of who even are the impending free agents. Landry's one, but they're going to re-sign him, or at the worst, tag him. They're not letting him get away. You're getting Caleb Farley back next year, and he's probably an upgrade over Jack Rabbit Jenkins. It's going to be a lot of the same. Now, I think a lot of Titans fans are hoping that one thing that isn't the same is the offensive coordinator, and I don't know how realistic that is. He certainly was not good this season, but like I was saying, this is who you got. There's no revolutionary difference. Maybe at pick 26 in the draft, they find someone that can come in and make an impact. But there's not a huge need that they're going to be going out in free agency and spending a lot of money for. They're not going to go make another blockbuster trade because they don't have really a huge need as they did when they went and got Julio Jones. This is what you got if you're a Titans fan, which is a good thing, right? They went 12-5. They were a bad interception away from advancing to the AFC Championship. But in a way, if you're looking for taking the next step, it's also I don't know what they do to do that.
That last play, the interception, and I know, again, we could talk about this all day because we're the best armchair quarterbacks around, but There is a still photo of that play, the last interception, where there's Ferkser's wide open in the middle.
Yep.
There's a running back wide open in the flat. And then there's the guy who threw the ball to who's triple covered.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that would drive me. If I'm Ryan Tannehill, I'm having nightmares about that pitcher until the season starts next year.
Tannehill was dejected after the game in a way that I have really not seen a player be dejected after a loss, because he came out and walked to the podium, and I asked the first question. I just asked him to evaluate his performance from the game. And as he was answering that, it was a lot of like pregnant pauses. You know, he would say, wasn't good enough. You know, I mean, that man was distraught. And Vrabel said it too, because Vrabel got asked about Tannehill. He said, no one feels worse about this than Tannehill. And, you know, I put that out. I was like, Tannehill's clearly very dejected, and this has really taken a toll on him. And all these comments were like, well, I bet when he goes home and sees that bank account, he's going to be just fine. But like, you know, it's going to wear on him. And I like Tannehill. I've been a big supporter of his over the years, but especially in Tennessee. But 3 years in a row when the Titans needed him in a playoff game, he didn't come through. And that's why the whole, well, this year was Todd Downing's fault, let's see what happens next year. It's like, he had 2 playoff games with Arthur Smith where the Titans needed him and he wasn't able to come through. He was just sort of flat in those games. And then on Saturday, he was disastrous. So, and this is what I wrote after the game. I think there's every reason to doubt. Like, I don't know why someone would think, well, in year 4, give it a 4th chance, it's going to dramatically change. Like, again, I like Tannehill. I've been a defender of him. I think he's a good, not great quarterback. And up until Saturday, I was firm in saying I think you can win a Super Bowl with Ryan Tannehill. But he has shown a tendency to sort of disappear and on Saturday melt down in the postseason.
You know, what's funny is, Luke, after the game, there were some, of course, Twitter's not real life. We know that. Mm-hmm. But there were some like, well, you know what? Should have never let Mariota go. And I go back and I tell people the Denver game in 2019 was the worst game I've ever seen by an NFL quarterback. Marcus Mariota was not the answer. He was never going to be the answer. Heck of a nice guy. Getting Tannehill was a huge and massive upgrade.
Oh, yeah.
So just Titans fans know that.
Well, Mariota in that Denver game, in just the one half that he played, he overthrew Derrick Henry on a screen. He sailed a 2-yard stick route to Delaney Walker, and he was in a clean pocket and just, as I would say, he froke out and just sprinted straight into Von Miller for no reason and took a sack.
So it could be worse, Titans fan.
Yes.
Luke, again, thank you. I love the work you're doing. You've got opinions. Keep doing it, man. We'll keep having you on the show. I appreciate your time, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Joe.
All right, Luke Worsham, A to Z Sports on that. That's, again, go back and watch that Titans game of 2019, and Mariota was awful. And I'm going to tell you something else real quick, too, why I knew that Mariota was not the answer. Remember the practice when the Patriots came to the 2-a-day practices and then they played at Nissan Stadium that Saturday? Well, they were doing these 7-on-7 drills, and Brady was just destroying the Titans secondary, just destroying the secondary. Well, then Mariota comes up there. Mariota sells a pass that I promise you was so far it almost hit me over at Channel 4. I mean, it was an awful pass. And I remember watching Mike Vrabel was out on the field, seeing that, and then Brady comes back there and rips things left and right. I'm thinking, this isn't going to work. I mean, Vrabel knows what a quarterback is, and Mariota's not his guy. And then sure enough, a few weeks later, Mariota was just so bad. And then Tannehill took over. All right, we'll take a break. Come back with our Monday guest that lights up the screen in my heart, Jaaaaaason Gooolesby. That's next. You're watching Mornings on Main Street.
Dental coverage may be a small investment, but it has big benefits. Because dental coverage and preventive oral care leads to more than a healthier smile. It leads to a healthier life overall. Delta Dental makes it easy to get the care you need. With the nation's largest network, you're more likely to find or keep a dentist you love. And with comprehensive coverage and additional discounts, you'll have benefits you love too. Make a lasting investment in your oral and overall health with coverage from Delta Dental. Visit deltadentaltn.com to learn more.
Hey, Toby. Toby knows comfort, whether day or night. Through the highs and the lows, Toby knows. You've put it off long enough. That old system is just out with the old, in with the new. We'll make it worthwhile all the way through. Dairyberry is your local independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. Visit DairyberryAC.com today and schedule a visit. Dairyberry Heat and Air, making customers for life.
Dickerson Pike, heading into town. I'll go back up to see what's going on there. But you know what? Typical volume. Welcome in to Mornings on Main Street. Thank you, Luke, Worsham, Kelly Rippin for all that's going on. Kelly in Cincinnati, Luke for recapping the Titans season, everything that's happening with them as they go forward. All right, it's time. Let's bring in the man. Look at drinking his coffee. Was that coffee? What is that?
It's water right now.
Little Bartles and James.
Matilda Bay.
Oh yeah, little what's that? All the college girls are drinking White Claw. Is that it?
Oh yeah.
Intern, you know about intern? Come in here for a second. Let's pop the intern in here. Okay, hold on.
I'm more of a Truly drinker.
Well, pop yourself on there, intern.
All right, hey guys, what's
hold
up?
Hold on, Googlesby. There you go. What do you drink there, intern?
Truly's, better flavor.
What is Truly?
It's the same thing as White Claw, just different brand.
Okay.
It's truly a sissy drink, I bet.
No, it's not as hard as Mike's Hard Lemonade, but it's right up there.
All right, Gooseby, you got to be nice on my intern here. I mean, he's brokenhearted. He got his brand new Tannehill jersey on and spent all hundreds of dollars to go see the team get beat by the Bengals. That's tough.
You know, I got to watch part of the first quarter, and then we actually had a wedding. Every man's nightmare during the games went Saturday night. So I was watching the play-by-play description on my ESPN app. So I will say that the interceptions, you know, they bounced off a couple of them bounced off a couple of the receivers' hands. So when I watched the playback, it did not look as bad. Tannehill didn't look as bad when I.
You know what? I agree with that because I argue that the receivers did not fight for the ball. Julio Jones was lazy on that first play and did not come back and fight for the football.
Right.
First one, definitely no excuse on for Julio, but that Westbrook-Akina throw was behind him. I think his attempt to tip it.
I think one out of
intent to try to put his hands on the ball.
Yeah, 1 out of 3. So 1 out of 3 wasn't too bad. I think they probably
2 out of 3 ain't bad. Meatloaf.
Yeah, right. Well, I saw him at Starwood back in the 90s, by the way.
And?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, it was great. He was great. And this is after he made his big comeback, and there was hardly anybody there, and I just didn't understand it. He put on a great show. It was.
Anybody open for him?
I don't know. I don't think so. If they did, I don't remember.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, the wrong button.
Yes.
I had to fix my teeth this morning.
Intern, get the triple box back up there. My bad.
I got you.
The wrong button. There we go. Sorry about that. All right, Gooseby. So what's new, brother?
So I just read this morning where your boy Brad Schmidt wrote an article that 200,000 people are going to be moving to the Middle Tennessee area over the next 5 years.
I could have
200,000.
told you that. You don't need to read him for that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Big Joe.
Okay.
It
What
popped up.
was the genesis for this article?
Well, it's just that there's going to be there's 200,000 people, and that's roughly the size of Knoxville. So if you can imagine a whole city the size of Knoxville moving into Nashville over the next 5 years, it's going to be crazy. I tell you, one of the things that I have done to work on my business a little bit is I have started reaching out to out-of-state realtors to earn referral business because there's so many people moving to Tennessee, and I reach out to out-of-state realtors in hopes that if they have a client that's moving to this area, they will refer that person to me, and of course they earn a commission for that. But yeah, Nashville, Tennessee's an it state. I mean, it's just. And I get it. I get that it's frustrating for a lot of people. I hear that a lot. A lot.
Can I tell you something real quick that I'm going to publicly disclose on the show right now? That I've been studying my real estate test for the last 4 months, and I failed it last Wednesday.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Which part?
I failed both parts. I failed the national and state. I was close though. But let me tell you what, though, man. Let me tell you what. It's a lot of pressure because it's hot in there. You got to wear a mask the whole time. My mask came down my nose. They warned me if it does it again, I get ejected. I mean, it was, and I'm trying to think. It was difficult in there. I was not happy. I mean, it was 1,000 degrees. I got more excuses if you need them. I studied, and I failed it.
Did you just see the graphic that popped up that said spelled his name wrong? Spelled his name wrong. What's the story behind that?
Whenever he said he was going through the things that he missed, he also spelled his name wrong.
Intern's
fan on this morning.
Intern's kicking a man when he's down.
That's all right though. Did you fail the first time?
I did not. But I'll tell you this. As a former teacher and somebody who, gosh, we practiced for tests and took them all the time.
Right.
And I felt like, man, it was tough. It was tough. And I could see how somebody who was not skilled in test taking or whatever could have a hard time with it. I don't understand why testing companies don't just make the question straightforward. It's about your knowledge, and they do those little tricks like they always tests do. They do these things that they try to trick you instead of just asking the question.
Well, there was a lot of hypothetical gotchas on there,
right?
Which but the sobering thing is though, Goolesby, is that I've picked the brain about 7 or 8 real estate agents, and almost every one of them failed the first time.
Yeah, there's a lot. And there's a lady that I went to the class with, and it took her about 2 or 3 times before she passed it. So
I guess I'll do it again. I'll do it again. And I'll keep doing it.
You'll get it. You're a smart guy, and you have so with your writing skills and things like that, and your journalism skills, the biggest thing you've got going for you is your ability to kind of break down the structure of the question and understand what they're asking. And
I'm hiring you as my life coach. Welcome. Thank you. Jason Gooolesby, life coach. Thank you.
Yes, be life coach. Add that to my.
So 200,000 people moving here. Let me tell you what, downtown Nashville can't hold any more people. I mean, I don't know if the streets can hold them. And by that, I'm not like, well, they're going to collapse. No, I mean, it's overpacked down there. And I'm not talking visitors. I'm talking people downtown Nashville.
So 2 years ago, I had a friend of mine that was playing at a little a place in downtown on Broadway, Tin Roof and Broadway, and on a Sunday night, and it was the Sunday after New Year's, and he was playing like at 8 o'clock, And me and a friend went down there to watch him, and 8 o'clock on a Sunday night in January. And you figure people would still have been recovering from, and there were people everywhere. And then we went in at 8 o'clock, and then the time we left was about 9:30, and there were more people out on a Sunday night. And of course, Joe, you remember when, you could go, you only people that went downtown on Sunday night was the college kids going to the Mix Factory.
Yeah, people don't realize that. I mean, the 80s and the 90s, I mean, there were more adult theaters and honky tonks down there.
Right. Yeah, you had Gruen Guitar was down there, and right beside the world's largest adult bookstore.
Awful. So
yeah, it was.
That's gone, and it's clean, but it's a lot of people there that go on. All right, Goolesby, let's take a break. You know what's next, don't you?
Yeah, time for me to slay the intern.
Celebrity birthdays. Don't go anywhere. That's next. You're watching Mornings on Main Street.
Talking Trash, the show that's going to end littering. Brought to you by Nobody Trashes Tennessee. How was that? That fast part, the end felt rushed. I'm going to do it one more time, Claire. Talking Trash, the show that's going to end littering. Brought to you by Nobody Trashes Tennessee. Ooh, how was that? Claire, that sound about right? It felt good to me. She feels me. Nobody trashes Tennessee on my watch.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
You really good try. There aren't any cops around.
I didn't think there were any cops around.
I drink and drive all the time.
Sir, you've been in a serious crash. I need you to hang on, okay? Cover your name, sir. Where you are right now?
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street as we get you going on this great day on Monday, January 24th, 2022. We are now officially 80% through the month of January. Makes me smile. All right, time for celebrity birthdays. Let's bring back in the intern. And Gooolesby, you guys are ready?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Our website has bottomed out on me, so we're going to have to do this. I got a new website that we got to go to. All right. First off, birthday is Gooolesby, go first. Aaron Neville. How old's Aaron Neville?
75.
I'll go 77.
He's 80. She played Ben Affleck's sister in Gone Girl. She was also in The Leftovers. Actress Carrie Coon.
43.
Did you know those facts off the top of your head?
Yes. I'm the pop culture maniac.
Okay. Let's go 39.
She's 40. Well done. Intern on the board.
Does that upset you? Jay Goose?
Yeah. Ed Helms. Andy Bernard from The Office.
54.
I'm going to say 49.
47. Come on, Goolesby.
Tannehill with the comeback today.
Mary Lou Retton.
Mary Lou Retton. Oh, gosh. She is 54.
Mary Lou, I'm going to say 73.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know who that is.
53. Good Lord.
I'm sorry.
She won the Olympic gold medal in 84.
I just haven't heard a name of Mary Lou's,
She's like, hello, Mary Lou.
Yeah.
Goodbye, heart. Sweet Mary Lou. All right, Matthew Lillard, he played Shaggy.
I didn't hear you. How old was she?
Oh, 53.
I said that.
Did you?
I said 54.
I said 54, so I won that.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
2-1 there, jerk. Matthew Lillard, he plays Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo movies.
The real life ones or
the real life ones?
Okay. Who's Shaggy? I can do it. He was in Scream too, wasn't he? Wasn't he in Scream?
Yeah, he's been in a bunch of funny stuff.
He is 47.
It's a good guess, Jason. I'm going to say 44.
51. Going down here. Let me see real quick. Neil Diamond. Well, by the way, I heard that he's not doing well.
Oh, well, no jokes then. 81.
I'll go 84.
80. Tied 2-2. Gooseby coming back on me. This guy, iconic. Ray Stevens.
Oh, yeah. You know, I'm the one person that stops and watches his show that's on TV.
So do I.
Cabana. Ray, he's Ray is 84.
86.
82. Gooseby up 3-2. All right, let's figure out one more on here before we go. There's a lot of birthdays here. All right, last one. Muhammad Ali's daughter, Titania Ali. Isn't that her name?
Like that? Yes.
I think so. How old is she?
35.
Okay, say 41.
42. Tied at 3.
Oh, wow.
Here's the winner. R&B singer Sleepy Brown. How old is Sleepy Brown?
Oh gosh, I have no idea who that is. So, 57.
My boy SB. We're gonna go 58.
51. It's a tie. It's a push.
Oh, it's a push. Push.
We'll get next week. Goolesby, thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
See you, buddy.
Be good. You tied, intern. I'm proud of you.
Hey, thank you. I actually feel really, really good about that performance.
Good.
See y'all
Thank
tomorrow.
you. All right, everybody. Thank you again. Thank Kelly Rippin. Thank Luke Worsham. Thank you, Jason Goolesby. Hope we got your day off to a fun and exciting start. Have a great Monday, my friends. Remember this. Be nice to people. Smile at people in traffic. Open doors. Nobody cares about your CrossFit workout unless you're doing it for charity. And always remember this. Nobody ever went broke by giving. We'll see you tomorrow.